I thought you were gonna do something, Forrest.
Is
What
this
the
thing on?
fuck? That's why I said go. All right, welcome to Bad Trips and Video Games. Forrest was supposed to do something, but completely fucked that up.
You're the one who said you were doing the intro. I thought
No,
I did the countdown for it.
no, I didn't. I said somebody else do the intro. I don't want to do it, but okay, I did it
I did
anyway.
noises. I
Doug,
helped.
Doug was just that cricket in the background, just like. Okay, that was a great intro. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We are. I guess I skipped a little bit right there. I just got off of work, so my brain's still kind of rebooting and everything. But yeah, we're gonna talk about a little bit of some here trauma that we've been through and whatnot throughout our lives to at least start us off on what we're talking about and whatnot. And yeah, fucking. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like spiders.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of spiders, snakes. I mean, I don't have like a genuine. Well, I mean, I guess I have a fear of being chased with snakes, but
Mm,
um,
I don't know
yeah,
about that. You definitely have a fear of bees, that's for sure.
yeah, no. I mean, with good right though, I'm
Good
highly
reason.
allergic to bees, so I mean, yeah, if I can avoid them, I'm definitely gonna try to outrun them.
But yeah, definitely for two reasons. It's definitely my older brother's fault that I just can't do spiders. Because one of the earliest memories that I can remember, being stuck in a basement with my brother holding the door shut after he just went, "Oh my god, a spider!" and went running up the stairs and closed the door in front of me, so I was stuck in there while this giant daddy long leg is just crawling across the fucking table that we had in our basement. And yeah, ever since then, I just did not like spiders. And that landslide to when I was about uh, 6, 7, when he told me again that spiders like warm and damp places. So when you sleep, one of their favorite places to hang out is your mouth. So when you sleep, you generally eat about 10 to 8 spiders a night. So yeah, at that point, I just kind of stopped sleeping.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I remember being told the same thing as a kid. I remember it being a night. I remember it being like a year. You ate like 7 to 10 spiders or something a year.
Maybe it was more like a week or something, but I thought it was more like a night. But I remember another side note off of spiders though. I remember I was told, I think it was probably by one of my parents, that when I'm pretty sure it was my mom to kind of scare me into like not hanging my hand out the window while we're driving. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I remember being told that like there was a case where someone was hanging their head out the window and a dog lost its head because someone's hand hit it or something. And yeah, I remember that being, oh god.
I heard pretty much the exact opposite. My parents were like, kids have gotten their arms and heads ripped off doing that and whatnot. And I mean,
May-
I never did listen, but
no, I still wanted to hang my hand. I think that might have been more what it was, that someone's hand got ripped off by a dog or something. Maybe that's what it was. Because I remember I was pretty young at that point too.
well, I hope the dog was okay.
I'm sure it depends on how big the dog was and how big the person's hand was.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
Little
imagine a.
chihuahua.
That's what I was about to say. Imagine a full man's hand just coming in contact with a chihuahua.
Yeah, that that I shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, all I can think of is deer versus semi truck.
oh man, never
Oh
ends
dear.
well.
Hand versus chihuahua head.
Yeah.
All right, someone else talk about some trauma.
Well, my brother had me really freaked out about aliens as a kid. When I was much younger, I had to have been, I don't know, maybe 12 at the time, maybe even younger than that. We had shared a room, and he would sleep on the floor on a mattress, and he would always sit there and fuck with me during the nighttime. One day, he was telling me that there's these aliens that can basically uh, what do they call that? Transparent and whatnot. You can't see them.
Translucent,
This, that, the other. Yeah, yeah.
Invisible.
And
invisible.
yeah, yep. And that they could be anywhere and this, that, the other, and he's seen them and blah, 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 blah. And then he got on the creepy voices and whatnot because he used to be really good at changing his voice. And I covered myself up and I would scream and cry. And I'm not even going to lie, I was afraid of the dark until I was probably about 13. Strictly because of that shit.
I mean, I really had a vivid imagination growing up, so I remember seeing Jaws for the first time, trying to go to sleep. Yeah, I did not come off that bed once the lights went off and it was dark. That's when the imagination went bad.
Funny that
Yeah,
you said that we're talking
Go
about
ahead.
aliens because the same thing. I watched the movie Aliens as a kid, and that movie creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I didn't end up watching Aliens until much later, but a movie that did freak me out was the bathtub scene in the movie It. I watched that right before my brother, ironically, same person, went to go and send me upstairs to take a bath. And he was downstairs watching it. And I'm like, do I really have to do this? Like, like I just saw that scene on TV, and now you're sticking me up here, and that's all that's on my mind.
I don't know. The only movie that really gave me nightmares, I guess, was Tremors.
Oh, Saving
Tremors.
Private Ryan.
I I always asked my dad if it was real, and he always said only in the desert. So I was like, "Yeah, we're good. We're in Minnesota. There ain't no desert here."
Yep, see, that's what my dad would do, like, after watching Jaws, we would go, like, whenever we'd go on a vacation to a beach, of course, my dad would be the type to, put me on a boogie board and take me as far out as he could go, and then eventually my dad would just drop under the water, and then,
God damn it, that does sound like your dad.
Yeah, Forrest has met my dad before, so he knows from firsthand, yeah, that's definitely something my dad would do.
Yeah, I get it. Kind of a mischievous guy.
He had a very, I wouldn't call it dark, but very inappropriate sense of humor. Like,
Fair enough.
like,
That's where you get it.
fair point. Forrest, you're gonna laugh really hard after I say this, because you're gonna remember. When I was a child, fun fact about Senor King here, I'm adopted. I was adopted at birth. I went
Oh, no.
through my whole entire childhood being told by my dad, "You know you didn't come from your mommy's belly." And then little me, "Yes, I did." And then my dad, of course, "No, you didn't. We found you when you crash landed in an alien pod in the backyard."
Oh no.
He's the invisible alien.
I knew they were real, man.
Yeah, because I'm one of them.
Yeah, I'm friends with one.
Yeah, yeah.
At
you've
least
been
he hasn't
inside
tried to
one.
probe me yet.
You
That
probed
you know
me.
of.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
All right, Forrest, your turn.
Well, I had some trauma quite a bit as a teenager. I was a little rambunctious teen. Had decided to have some fun, and we had snowmobiles growing up as a kid. Parents would let us ride them by ourselves out on the lake when we wanted to, just because we've had them for so long. And one night, decided to go out on the lake on the Skidoo 500. And
See,
as you're a little kid, you like having fun, push the limits and shit, and try and do like little shitties, 360s and stuff like that. And ended up going and trying to do a shitty, and went a little too fast into it and just turned a little too hard and flipped the snowmobile over. It's usually not a problem. I mean, usually you can lift it up by yourself and stuff, but when you're a 13-year-old kid and you get pinned under a snowmobile by yourself out on the lake when it's dark out, that's a problem. It's a little fucking scary when it's dark out. You ain't got no phone on you. You can't call for help or anything. You're just sitting there and you just hear all the ice cracking underneath you and shit like that.
Yeah, no. I would have never gone out onto like a frozen lake ever again after that.
Eventually, like half an hour later, my parents were like, "Oh yeah, we don't really see like Jake, like the snowmobile out on the lake, but we see somebody out there like ice fishing." And we think, "Oh shit, I wonder if that's Jake." Eventually, my dad, and my brother come out and come get me and shit. And when I flipped the snowmobile, it broke or it pushed in the kill switch, so we couldn't even start the snowmobile anymore. So we had
So
to
you
push
gotta
it back.
fix it.
All that, but that made me stop snowmobiling for a while. The other time out on the lake there, and we are going through a small little creek area. Probably shouldn't have been walking through there at that time, and fell through the ice there. Couldn't actually touch the ground, and that was a little interesting experience. Luckily, I could like pull myself up from the cattails on the edge there.
Mm.
Then the last time out on the lake, so we had snowmobiles and our neighbors had four wheelers and stuff. We did like pull each other behind them, uh, on like the sleds and tubes and stuff like that, just for fun shit and stuff, for stuff to do during the winter. Well, one day we're out on it by ourselves on the snowmobile, pulling each other around. We go and stop for a little bit. The neighbor sees us sitting out there, and he decides, yeah, he was going to come over and visit us and chat with us and shit like that. Well, when it's coming up, he tries to brake and he finds out, oh, his brakes are all iced up.
Oh no.
He goes in, starts screaming. I turn around and hear that just in time for him to clip my leg. I fly up into the air and do like a cartwheel. My snow pants get all ripped open and shit.
Oof.
Didn't break a leg or anything like that, but yeah, that kind of gave me fear of the like ice sports and being out on the lakes for a while. But
Yeah.
after a while, you saw me out recently. I fuck around on lakes and ice and shit again. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had a pretty interesting childhood.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I like to stay inside now. I am very accident prone. That's not even like half of the accidents that I've had or anything like that. That's just on the lake
Yep.
during the winter time specifically.
Fair. Yeah, my wife doesn't do too well in winter either, but I mean, she's kind of more like a slip and fall all the time.
Yeah, the amount of times that I've like slipped on ice and like had that like moment and like kind of saved myself, dude. Oh my god, almost on a
Yeah.
Penguin
daily
walk.
basis. But yeah, definitely another time that I've probably. This is kind of weird and maybe a little funny because I was probably like 12, 13 at the time. And when I lived in North Carolina, I had uh, people that lived across the street from me, and then people that lived behind them actually had like a miniature barn that housed two sheep. And this is one of the reasons why sheep, like I just don't feel comfortable around sheep. And I don't know if I've told you this story before, Forrest, but yeah, definitely we accidentally let them out once, and I was like the one like making sure to close the door while my other two friends were like trying to chase after them, getting to come back to the barn.
Yep.
And yeah, I had two like pretty decent, like they were about to probably get shaved and everything, but they were big. They looked big, but it was mostly fluff. But me, I saw a big ass fucking sheep come running at me, and I
Mhm.
dove. I just dove, and of course, I ended up diving into a thorn bush. So, Yeah, kind of like how you dove out of a snowmobile. I dove out of a way of a fucking sheep. And yeah, I ended up cutting up my clothes and everything, tearing up my pants, getting cuts all over my legs and everything, and then had to explain to my parents how, like, we were playing tag and I had tripped and fell into a thorn bush, and yeah, that's how this all happened. And still to
Yeah, at
this
least
day,
you dodged out of the way of it. You didn't get hit by it.
yeah, and still to this day, I just don't do sheep.
You goats though.
No, even okay, goats I can do,
If
but
they're locked up in the like in the field and stuff like that,
like the
and you're
goofy
on the other side of the fence.
big male goats are kind of iffy. It's just their eyes, dude. Their eyes trip me the hell out, dude. Like I can't do goat eyes. And sheep, same thing. The little like the long pupil, like no, no, no.
I get it.
Yeah, no. I still don't like
Can't
sheep.
say that I have that problem, but yeah.
I don't like horses.
I don't like llamas because they spit.
Horses are fucking vicious. They'll bite you.
Well, yeah, they're not trained correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I've had one interaction with a horse, and it went fine for me, but the other girl in the group, it didn't work out so well. Her horse took off on her.
Okay.
She was just screaming, going down the trail, ah! And then you know, instructors or whatever were trying to get the horse to stop and whatnot. And the horse didn't want to stop. She didn't get hurt or anything, but it was quite hilarious to, witness. My
Yeah.
horse behaved fine. But I never did get it on another one. I won't do elephants like at the Renaissance Festival. I won't none of that. Nope.
Oh god, dude. Why is my fucking brain just going to when he brought up horses? I was like, oh, this chick saw a horse stick. And then when he brought up elephants again, oh, well, Duck maybe got hit by an elephant dick.
Nope. Nope. Can't say. However, there was one
yep.
time that we were at the Renaissance Festival and they had like the little pony ride,
Hmm.
and the kids all wanted. Carter had to have been, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 at the time, and he wanted to ride one of the horses, and he picks the horse right in front of one of his cousins. His cousin picked the horse with the biggest penis I've ever seen in my
Oh,
life.
Lord.
That thing was damn near dragging on the ground. That poor guy was just sitting there hanging his head the whole time too. Like, I hate my life. I was like, I feel for you, buddy. Me and my
Mr.
wife were just sitting
Hands.
there staring at each other like, oh my god, this is awkward.
That kind
Parents
of
are trying to take pictures all like, you know, interestingly to try to get it out of the picture.
that kind of reminds me, interestingly, of a mutual friend of me and Forrest. Not to drop names on podcast, but we'll call him Gingy. You know exactly who I'm talking about,
Yerp.
Forrest. There was one time I went to visit him when he lived in Texas, and I stop. You know what I'm talking about because you
yep.
already know. He has, I shit you not, a Chihuahua Husky mix, the size of a Chihuahua, with the head and a body and a tail of a husky.
That's so
And
weird.
dude, it doesn't even stop there. The weirdest thing about this dog is its dick was too big for its body. Like it constantly had a red rocket. Like
Oh
20.
Lord.
I had the fortunate event of waking up to said red rocket being placed in my face.
yep.
Yep.
Red Rockets and Shinji's go together.
Yep. Little troll.
Oh my god.
Gingy, if you
That's
ever end
great.
up listening to this, fuck you. I know he's different now, but
uh,
god damn, he was an individual when we were younger.
He's a character.
Character and a
But we
half.
love him.
Yep.
yeah, I think we all were at some point or another.
But I guess,
You're a child. You're kids. You gotta have fun.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta be. You're a hooligan. You grow up.
Yeah, of course.
well, yeah. But okay, for a segue a little bit, for us to get on the topic of our podcast, bad trips and video games. Let's get on the topic of tripping a little bit. Forrest, you're gonna enjoy this story. There's a reason why I will never take LSD and be in a hot tub ever again.
Yep.
Yep. Oh man, I definitely took way too much for sure. Cause I don't know if you ever got the tabs that I got at that time that were like thick, like they were really thick. Like one normal tab was more like a tab and a half with how thick it was. And I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I took two, so altogether I took probably like 3 tabs. And all I remember is it starting off with the 2 people that we were with. They were a couple, and the boyfriend in the couple was a very choice individual. Like he was not a good person, just to say. You guys will hear about why right here, but yeah. So we would be like in midst conversation, and he would just decide to smack his face up against the water and then just continue on the conversation.
His hands.
And yeah, me being very very on Uranus. And dude, it like triggered, and I ended up like getting out of the hot tub and going into the pool, and we were swimming around and whatnot, and I don't know if you guys did the same thing, but like swimming down to the bottom of the pool and pushing off the bottom with your feet to come flying out of the water.
Yep, I've done it.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Yep, so I did that, and I totally thought that I had hit my head on the side of the pool. And me, again, not being in the right mind, uh, decided to choke the boyfriend of the couple that we were with. And I'm asking him, is my head bleeding? And the whole entire time he's just, no, no, no. And to be honest, still to this day, I don't know why I started choking him, because for some reason I was asking him if my head was bleeding, and he was telling me no, but I, for some reason, couldn't hear the fact that he was saying no. So so I get out of the pool, get in the hot tub, and I'm sure like by this time I'm starting to calm down a little bit, and we go to just back to just chit chatting and whatnot, and all of a sudden I see like polka dots, different colored dots, all behind them on the wall. It wasn't on them, it was just on the wall. And I would turn around thinking that it was someone in the balcony window above us, like shining a laser or something down at us. And yeah, I don't know why, but that just freaked me out, because paranoia and just tripping my ass off, because I am balls deep by this time. And this is where it gets kind of blotchy, because like I'm gone. Forrest probably can like explain a little bit more than I can, because he was actually sober, if I remember correctly, during this.
Yep.
But I remember going out to have a cigarette, and Forrest and the boyfriend of the couple come out with me, and I don't know why, but just the way Forrest is sitting next to me, expressionless, probably because he's dealing with my tripping ass, I just instantly think this dude's a cop for some reason. And
That
Yep.
always ends well when you're on any kind of hallucinogen.
oh, acid especially, dude, because it affects my mind differently than like shrooms or mushrooms would. Like, dude, like I can get such into bad, like what's going on around me, but it's not actually happening. That like, yeah, I literally looked at Forrest and I'm like, dude, you're a cop, you need to go. And he's like, dude, are you sure? You're tripping really bad right now. Like, I feel like I should stay here with you. And I'm pretty sure I looked at him very angrily. I'm like, you need to leave.
Yep.
Yeah, and he left,
Yeesh.
and not 10, 15 minutes later, after they finally got me out of the pool and up to the apartment and in a room, I look at them and I'm like, where's Jake? I want Jake. Bring Jake over here. Where's Jake? And they're literally looking at me like, dude, you told him to go home. You thought he was a cop. And I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And by this time, I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, but they like threw my clothes at me, told me they were gonna go into another room and talk. Like by this time, Forrest, you have no clue what happened because you were
Yeah, I
gone.
was already long gone.
Yeah, you were long gone, and I'm left in this room in their apartment. And side note too, this isn't the couple's personal apartment. They still lived with their parents because I'm like 20 at the time. I still live with my parents. They're like 18, 19. I think the girlfriend was 18, the boyfriend was 19. And you, I think, were 19 at the time because you're a year younger than me, Forrest. Right? Or you're a year older than me. No, Duck's a year
No, I'm
older than
younger
me.
there.
You're a year younger than me.
Yeah, like half
And
a year.
yeah, they just leave me in the room by myself. So I'm staring at this door that has light coming through it. They left the lights off. They left me in complete darkness. And all of a sudden I'm just staring at this light that's coming through these cracks in the shades that are on this door. And all of a sudden the darkness starts to consume the light. And I don't know why it clicked in my brain. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm about to die. The light's fading." Oh. I run to the door, leave the room, run to the front door of the apartment, grab the doorknob, and at this point when I touch the doorknob, I stop and I'm like, I'm just tripping, I'm just tripping, I'm just tripping. And I go back to the room, and I was also in my underwear during this too. Like I hadn't been able to get myself fully clothed. I got my swimming trunks off and my underwear on. That's as far as I got before I started staring at this door. And come to find out, the girlfriend's mom was in the living room when I did this. So she saw me come sprinting out of this room, run up to the front living room door, grab it, stop, breathe, and then go back into the room. And I had no clue she was there. Like, I didn't look that general direction. I didn't see her or anything. So, by this time, I'm back in the room. I'm still by myself. I'm looking at the clock on my phone, and it's like 12 o'clock. And I must have just been looking at it, like, every 2 seconds or something. Because I'm, like, looking at it, still 12 o'clock, still 12 o'clock, still 12 o'clock. And it felt like an hour went by. And it was still 12 o'clock. And I called my brother, my older brother, who kind of introduced me to like pot and everything else. So he talks me down, tells me that like, oh, you're just tripping. Eventually it'll be over. Just take a deep breath. Just give it a second. He talks to me for a little bit, and then he tells me like, look at what time it is. Tell me what time it is. And it's like it's 12:05, and I'm like, see, now time's moving. You're fine. Just breathe, keep breathing, and you'll be fine. And then it was just kind of coasting till dawn because I didn't sleep that night. Like I think that was also like the third time I've ever taken acid.
I think so, yeah.
And yeah, that was the first time I ever had a bad trip.
I think I've been there with all of them.
Yeah, you were there for both of them. Because I've only had two, and you were there for both of them. But we'll discuss that other one a different podcast. Because I don't want to tell all
No,
the
you
stories.
can't drop them all on the...
No.
You saying you sprinting out and not seeing the bomb or whatever is hilarious because that reminds me. So Electric Forest, walking back to camp here, I was tripping pretty fucking hard that night as well, and Miley and them decided, they're going to go to sleep. So I'm like, I'm not too tired. I'm just going to sit at camp for a little bit. Sitting there for like 20, 30 minutes, just chilling, smoking a little bit, and eventually I can still hear him talking in the tent. Eventually, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go to the afters. I'm going to go get going. Everyone decided to go tell him in the tent. And then as I'm leaving the tent, going to go back to my spot where I was to go check my bag, make sure I had like some beers and some everything before I headed out. Just see me chilling at camp there. I'm like, oh, hey, what up, dude? Like, dude, you didn't see me? I'm like, no, what do you mean? He's like, dude, I've been here the whole time since you guys got back. Like, no fucking shot. Like, yeah, dude, I saw him when you got back in the tent. Like, you're just sitting there chilling on your phone, and you're smoking like a couple bowls, all that, and grab beer and shit. Like, he's like recounting all the shit that I fucking did, and like, fuck, he really was here. How the fuck did I not see him?
Had that super tunnel vision going.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah, I remember the first festival I went to was Shangri-La, and oh my god, it was so much fun. I'm kind of sad that I haven't been back to it since, but I remember taking a pretty decent amount of mushrooms to the point that like I didn't want to leave my tent. I like was super. I don't know what the word for it is.
Fried.
Not, yes, I was fried, but I was like super sensitive to what was going on, like listening to everything, like the music, the people, like everything going on. Like it was hard for me to
Hypersensitive to sounds. You
yes,
literally
yeah,
were hearing everything and processing all the sounds at once around you.
hypersensitive. That's the word that I was looking for. I was
Mm.
hypersensitive to everything that was going on. So I just sat in my tent and just laid there and just was just listening to everything. And I, oh yummy, a little bit. I like I don't know how else to explain it, but like I was in my tent, but I was also with the group that was next to me, and like somehow like I was like listening to their conversation, but somehow was also a part of it too. Like every time I would think of something like, oh, I wonder if anybody's seen this movie, boom, they were talking about that movie. Like it felt like
That had to
I.
have been a mind fuck.
hmm And as I'm doing this, I'm watching the sides of my tent just start like waving, like the ocean, like waves when
Like
the
they're
wind was.
breathing.
The world is a simulation.
This is real, boys. The red pill, blue pill is
Birds aren't
actually
real.
the red pill, blue pill is actually LSD and mushrooms.
Aren't real.
The joke's on
That's
us.
how they keep track of us.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Joke's on us. The government is who supplies us all our drugs.
I mean, we knew that.
Well, yeah, but. Alright, anybody else got any interesting stories about trauma? I thought, Duck, you had one
Well,
that was
I
about
mean,
drugs.
yeah,
Drugs.
I got this room story.
Oh, yeah, I
My
remember.
bad trip. Um, I mean, it all started good the first couple times, that I did it. I want to say I did it like maybe 2 or 3 times before I had my bad trip.
Oh, that's right. Not to cut you off, just a side note, when me and Duck had talked about this previous, me and Duck apparently have opposite reactions to mushrooms and LSD. So, like, how I react to mushrooms, Duck reacts to LSD. How I react to LSD, Duck has that reaction to mushrooms. So, like, dude, this is such a weird thing to hear him talk about because it's the exact opposite of how I am.
Well, and then, like I said, the first couple times went fine. This particular day, we were with two of my buddies. I'm not gonna name drop either one of them, so I'm gonna do my best not to try to lose everybody as I tell my story here. One of them had very early got into the feels. Um, he found a beanbag chair that was sitting on a concrete floor, and he was rubbing it. He's like, "Oh my God, this is so soft!" And before you know it, he's rubbing his face on it, and he goes out of nowhere, just picks up his head and just smashes it into the fucking beanbag chair. So what do you think happens? A loud thud right onto the concrete, like one of the most sickest thuds you've ever heard.
Oh.
And you knew his trip was over for the night, and it was his first time doing it. So
Oh.
we felt super bad and guilty, because we could just tell he was like, "Oh my God, my head hurts so bad and whatnot." So we laid him down in the room, and uh, we'd go check on him every once in a while. We'd be like, "Hey, you okay?" "Uh-huh." He'd be curled up in a ball on the damn bed.
Fetal
"Okay, do you
position.
need anything?" "Uh-uh." You want to come outside?" "Uh-uh." "All right." Then all of a sudden he'd come outside and he'd start looking for his backpack. "I gotta go home. I gotta go home." We're like, "No, buddy, you can't go home." Like, "No, don't go in front of your mom like that, whatnot. And so we kept hiding his shoes. But this motherfucker was on it. This motherfucker might not have been in our world for anything else, but that motherfucker was able to find his shoes no matter what we did with it.
He had some built-in
And
shoe radar going.
yeah, dude, it was weird. And all of a sudden he got hold of his brother. His brother came and got him. And we were like, okay, good. That's best case scenario because his brother knows exactly what to do. So, we just kind of sat there for a little bit. We kind of start feeling guilty and whatever. I go into the bathroom and I get stuck in the mirror. And, that to me was just a hilarious experience. I was laughing at myself, having a grand old time, staring at my eyes getting bigger and smaller and whatnot.
That's one thing
And
I've
then,
yet to do is stare at the mirror while I'm tripping. That is one thing I've yet to do.
yeah, some people advise against it. Some people say you gotta try it. I did it. I didn't see what the problem was, but I mean, I guess that's another one of those mindset things. Whatever you go in there thinking you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
see is probably what you're gonna see. If you think you're gonna see something scary, you're probably gonna see something scary. Um, but I had a great time, and we go over. We're messing around on my buddy's laptop, and I think I'm in that cartoon because we start kind of recording ourselves because we want to see how stupid we're being and whatnot.
Once you sober
And
up.
yeah, exactly. And I was having a blast with it 'cause it was like being in a cartoon. Before you know it, we go upstairs and we get distracted up there drinking orange juice and stuff, and we're watching TV. And every single channel we flip to is like some weird, like he had satellite, so he had like 3 million channels, and everyone, like the first one was like this fishing slash cooking show where they were like flipping the fish out of these tanks and cutting them up on the table. We were like, no, that ain't the one. The next one would be like some crazy CSI kind of thing. We're like, no, not the one. Before you know it, after 4 or 5 times, we're like, all right, let's just not do that. So we turn off the TV. My buddy's cat had started going nuts. And each time we had done mushrooms, this cat reacted and would just start zipping around. He was an old cat, he didn't do this normally. Um, and it would trip my buddy out to no belief. And each time he did it, it made my buddy trip a little bit more. And he started talking to his cat like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You're tripping me out, dude." Whatnot. And my mind started going left because of all the shit that we had just seen on the TV. It's like, oh my God, he's gonna kill his cat. So, um, that's in my head, and he decides he's gonna go downstairs. And with that all being in my head, I kind of start contemplating him killing me. I'm like, oh God, he's planning to get me. I'm like, I'm gonna do it first. I'm like, well, no, what the fuck am I thinking about? I can't do it first. I'm just tripping, you know. And so I was all freaked out. So I decided I was gonna try to curl up in a ball on the couch and try to go to sleep as best as I could. And that's when the room started spinning and I threw up. And I knew
Oh
that
Ooh.
the
no.
night was gonna get so much more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And the long story short, it took me forever, but I worked my way downstairs. He's laughing while he's watching his laptop, so I'm still thinking he's going out of his fucking mind. And I go back out to the garage. Well, one of our other buddies comes over. And he, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was tripping, if he was on anything, or if he was just trying to be goofy. What the hell? But it cracked me the fuck up. He grabbed a baseball bat, threw it in between his legs, started slapping his ass and singing "Great Balls of Fire." And right in the middle of him doing that, I saw a spider come down from the
Oh
the
no.
the ceiling and whatnot. And I just, how you lock in on the shit that you're uncomfortable with, you
Uh-huh.
know? And I just watched it climb all the way down. I was like, no, 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 it's coming back. And then I looked in the corner and I swore I saw a face. So in broad daylight here, I went running out of my buddy's house in the middle of winter while people are still outside shoveling their driveways and whatnot. And I just went running around the block. And then I start freaking out even more because everybody, like, I feel like everybody's looking at me. Everybody's like, what the fuck is that kid doing? Rightfully so, but, I just literally came running out of the garage and shit. Like, that's a little weird. But, yeah, after that whole experience, it just gave me such anxiety every time that I would try it and whatnot. However, I did try it last year. I had a relatively good experience and when I microdosed, very small amount. And I found a pregnant cat, and now I have one of her babies.
Yup. Yep. Some of the upsides of drugs.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do. We do. Let's just get this straight too, for podcast sake, so we don't get in trouble. We do not condone doing drugs. Do not do drugs, people.
No, I
We
mean, no.
just. We
At,
have just done
at your
stupid things.
own risk. I'm not gonna
Uh,
tell you not to do it because you're gonna do it if you're gonna do it. But
we suggest
you
not to.
didn't get it from me. I didn't.
We
We're
didn't
not
give it to
telling
you.
you to do it.
No. No, we're just telling you what happened to us, so maybe it'll show you, maybe I don't want to do this.
And I will let you guys know for anybody that hasn't done any kind of hallucinogens or whatever, and they've just smoked weed or whatever.
Be happy with that.
If you do ever go down that road, just know it's a long ride, so buckle up. It's not
Oh
like
yeah.
weed where it wears off in an hour. You're gonna be in a very uncomfortable state if that's what happens for 8 to 10 hours or more, depending on how much you consume.
Yeah. Don't be like Carrie Fisher now. Really? Nothing? Okay, thank you, Forrest.
I said Jesus.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I heard it.
Okay. Oh god. So, I don't know. I think that's about it that I have for trauma.
Yeah.
You know? Anybody got any other kind of side topics to talk about? Forrest?
Uh,
I'm excited for the new Fable.
Dude, me
do you want to
too.
tell them about mine and Patrick's prank?
We can save that for. That's a pretty big thing for us to talk about, Duck. I don't know if I want to drop that on podcast number 4. I want to give people a reason to keep listening to us.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
All I'm saying for the viewers is it's definitely worth listening to. And yes, I'm an asshole.
Oh my lord. And plus, I don't want you to bring that up. I want to bring that up so you're like, oh man, really? Like that's a thing for
Mm-hmm.
me to bring up, not for you to bring up.
Well, I just figured since we were talking about trauma.
Well, I mean, kind of. But all right, since we've touched on the subject, if anybody has seen the what was it for Xbox for us? What were you watching?
Fable.
No, for all the new games that got released.
Oh, the Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, the Xbox showcase. Unfortunately, I was working, so I missed it, but there are a lot of new games coming out for Xbox that look really good, man.
They actually have games for once, some first party games. I'm surprised.
Let's go.
It
Yeah, and
took long enough.
they're either they're giving us more games that we've been wanting for years, like Fable, Gears of War. I mean, how long has it been since we've had a Zero Dark game?
Perfect Dark game.
A Perfect Dark, yeah. Wasn't that for
Uh,
I don't know.
PS2?
no, we had one on the 360,
Okay, yeah, so that would have been the same time
and
as
maybe
PS2.
I can't remember Xbox One if it was 360 or Xbox One that they rebooted it, but they they've announced this game a long time ago. They've redone it so much on the recently. Like they've at least redone it 2, 3, 4 times at least here before they had showed gameplay.
Yeah, dude, I got to watch the trailer for Fable before we started the podcast and everything, and I am very much looking forward to the graphics and how this game looks. I just hope they keep to the same play style of it.
I feel like they will.
Yeah. And what is the other what other games do we have coming out? We have a new State of Decay coming out. Did we ever play State of Decay? It's like a zombie survival-ish
a
game.
little bit.
The new Doom.
Ooh, that's right. Me and Forrest have to play through the old, because I haven't played through Doom Eternal yet. So that's definitely going to be something we're going to have to play through. And just a little side note, let me plug ourselves a little bit. If you guys want to see our Twitch channels and see the games that we're talking about and playing and whatnot, go ahead and look down in the descriptions and see our Twitch channels and links to them. Go ahead and give us a follow. If you really love us, give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll also have links to Forrest. You have a YouTube channel now, right? Too?
I've
You
had
made one?
one.
Okay, then I'll also add links for each of our YouTube channels too. Which, yeah. Whew, that was a wicked itch on my leg. Damn mosquito bites. Oh. Duck, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, I don't. I think I'm good.
Forrest, were there any other games that we were getting to? Or is that
The
about
new
it?
one. There was one called
Oh yeah, the game that you're super excited about too.
yeah, I'm trying to see Claire Obscure, the Expedition 33. It's like
Mm,
the turn-based RPG, like that's quick time event.
kind of has a
It
feel of Final
like
Fantasy a little bit.
yeah, like Final Fantasy, Lost Odyssey. It looks really good. I'm that as soon as I saw that, that sold the show for me. I'm so
Mm,
excited.
yeah, but yeah.
When's that Sparkling Zero come out?
I think that's like October 10th,
So 4 days after
Okay.
my birthday.
Okay.
11th,
Okay, fine.
Nice.
5 days. I was close.
Yup, yup. Oh god, these mosquito bites. I just want to cut my legs off right now.
Okay, Fox McCloud.
Ooh.
Oh, what? Oh, I hate my ADHDs right now. There was something I wanted to talk about, but now it's gone.
Gotta get you a notepad.
Oh, now I remember. A game that that Forrest just got me kind of into. We started playing last night. If you guys have ever heard of it, X Defiant is also really fun right now. It's free to play on the Ubisoft platform. But yeah, we started playing that last night, and I think we might get into that after the podcast too. I don't know about Doug. Did you get a chance to try it, or do you not have enough space on your Xbox?
I don't have enough space.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun.
I can like download it to my Xbox, but then still have to figure out what game to switch
Uninstall.
to be able to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Big time thinking stuffs. But yeah. We got really into that. I don't know why, but I've never played like CS:GO. I played Rainbow Six Siege a little bit with Forrest before that game took a downfall to hell. And yeah, dude, I did not think that a fast-paced game like that, because the TTK in that game is a lot faster than Call of Duty. So like, instead of bullet velocity being like how far your bullet travels, it actually affects like how far your bullet travels depends on how much damage it gives. Damage. Oh my goodness.
Gotcha.
It's a lot more.
Realistic.
The SMGs have a lot more damage drop off compared to like Call of Duty.
So ammunition
Right.
is more realistic and all that, and just all around. It's like if you took Overwatch and so if you take the abilities of Overwatch and put it into the playstyle of Call of Duty multiplayer, you get X Defiant.
Like almost like
Okay.
Apex multiplayer.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I never really played Apex either.
But you played Overwatch with us, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I liked Overwatch a lot.
Oh yeah.
Overwatch was fun, yeah.
Which I know somebody that would be really happy if they heard us saying that we were going to play that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have it installed.
I would imagine you probably don't.
I might.
But yeah, everybody listening, make sure to comment down below whatever you maybe had happen to you that maybe caused you trauma, and let us know, and maybe we'll pick a couple comments to talk about if we have any next podcast, because I don't know. I know we did for our second podcast, we did first time we ever smoked. I kind of maybe for the next podcast, if we don't do a video game subject, because we don't have an idea yet. So, on another side note, we realize that we haven't done this podcast in a long time, and we're just now coming fresh back to it, and there's a little bit less of us in the podcast. But that's just because some of us went our own separate ways. I know Ghosty might make his way back to us. I know his name is now Joker Bond, but he might make his way back into the podcast. We don't know. I haven't really talked to him yet about the podcast. I kind of feel bad that I never really told him that we were going to be recording it and whatnot, but he also, I know, doesn't have an Xbox or a way to be in the party with us right now, so, I mean, he'll understand, but, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us, and you continue watching our podcast. I know we're going to try to keep a good schedule going on when we record and when we keep uploading, so I'll maybe try to have a regular schedule on a day that we might start uploading and everything on like a week to week, or maybe every other week up until we get into a more regular schedule. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I shouldn't say that. Forrest, do you have anything to talk about or say or blah blah blah? Nope. I already know Duck doesn't, because he's super dumb.
I'm just a duck.
Yeah, he's the reason why the king on the screen that you're watching right now has a crown, or is a duck. Oh my god, I'm so tired right now. We need to end
He
this.
just wants to whack the duck. That's okay.
Not
Okay.
yours though.
We'll end the podcast and we'll get off. I'll give him what he wants, guys. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope you enjoyed. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll try to give you guys a more scheduled idea of when we're going to be uploading and all that, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, y'all.
Yee.
Yahoo!